Hey guys, Susie Turner. Here comes Dixie. She hears me talking. She knows I'm on my camera. We're gonna talk some makeup. We're gonna do some makeup. New Year's Day makeup. New Year with Seint, with me and Dixie. If you've tried Seint before, maybe it's time to try it again. Or if you've never tried it before, it's the perfect time to try it. New year, new you, right? Actually, it doesn't have to be a new you. Let's just do an improved you. How about that? We're going to do some Seint makeup today. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off super simple. We're just going to make it very simple. A lot of people just want a easy, natural face. They don't want a lot of product, and that's fine. And if you want to build into it and kind of glam it up, you can do that too. But we're going to start with this 810 palette here. It's empty. We're going to fill it together. We're going to go through and just pick out some stuff that I would do on my face. If I wanted to add more to it later on, I could. This is a perfect starter size. It's got a slot for 8 10s or 16 eyeshadows. So we're going to do a quick full face, and I'm actually going to shop from my other palettes. This is the one that I always carry. This is my personal palette. It has 3 layers of everything that I would need. But I'm going to take some things out of this and put it into this to make it small and simple. All right, let's do it. We're going to start also with a very easy, natural coverage brush. This is the shape brush. It's one of my favorites. We're going to use this one. So we're going to start by, right now there's nothing in my palette. We're going to start with my main highlight shade. I'm the Seint artist. I can match you also. If you want to try the makeup, it's colormatchedbysusie.com. It's in my profile, or I'll also link this below whenever I post this video. So we're going to start with the color Sandy. So I'm going to take it out of this because that is my shade. I would match you to the one that would be the best for you. So we're going to put it right in here, pop it in this palette. These, you can get different sizes, different colors, designs, whatnot. So I'm going to take this, and we're just going to kind of do a very light wash all over the face. Lots of times I will do my contour first, but I feel like this is one of the ways that most people are familiar with, is kind of starting with a foundation shade. We don't always call these foundations because they're more like all these work together to make up a foundation. It will become your foundation. We call them highlights and contours because that's what it's meant to do. Highlight where you needed to highlight, and sculpt or chisel where you need to contour. So that was just a light wash. So now we're going to go in with a contour. I'm going to use the color Cedar, so we're going to pop that into our palette. So here's Cedar. We're going to pop that right there beside my main shade that I used. And you can pinch your brush if you want to do a little chisel, but we're not. We're keeping this super simple today for your non-makeup wearers. It's like, I don't like a lot of blah, 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 blah. We're going to make this for you. So I'm almost going to treat this as a bronzer. It's a little bit warmer of a contour shade. So I kind of feel like it could double. Again, this is the color Cedar. So we go from having just kind of a nice even wash of color on the face to now we're adding a little dimension and depth back in by using this contour. It brings a little bit of life back to your face, a little shape. All right, and now I am going to use my fingers right here. Just barely tapping in. There's not a lot on there. And I'm going to kind of put it right there on the top of my nose. And we'll blend it down a little. If I wanted to leave it like that right there and add maybe a little bit of blush, we could, and call it done with just 2 shades that I have on my face. Okay, but we're going to take it a little bit, we're going to elevate it just a little bit. Go ahead and do the blush. Let's do that. One of the colors that I almost always suggest for most people is the color nude, because I feel like nude is so universal, that looks great on everyone. And whoops, I just jabbed my finger into that. So this is the color nude. And we're going to put this right here too, beside my other. So we're just popping this. We're just kind of building this palette as we go. Again, I only have on these 2 shades right now, and that would be fine, just like it is. But again, we're going to elevate it. So I'm still using this same brush, and this is the color nude. And we're going to just kind of put this right here, almost behind the apples of our cheeks. Here's the apple. We're going to kind of put it right there behind, and then blend it up and down to help create a little lift there. Okay, so now we've got 3 colors on our face. We could, if we wanted to keep it a bronzer, we could add a bronzer. Or we could use like a brightening shade. So we're going to just do a little bit of brightening, okay? So now I'm going to find another color that's going to work good for my skin tone. And that would be the color Aura. And we're going to pop that in. And this would be a good 410 palette for someone who wants to keep it very simple. So I'm going to plop over to this other side of this brush, and I'm going to kind of just slightly dust. Oh, it's a little red bird outside on a limb. Slightly dust. Daisy, get your kennel. Shoot, that clacking gets on my last nerve. She clacks around the whole house, especially when I'm talking. She just paces. And I talk a lot. So again, this is the color Aura. We're just doing a little bit of brightening. Still keeping it really soft and simple. Anyone can use this makeup. I hope this is coming through good, because I keep getting notifications that like doesn't seem like it is. I shouldn't have Wi-Fi issues, but who knows. Okay. So there we go. We could stop right there and be done and have a 410 palette. Now we're going to pop over here and we're going to do a very easy eye look. Actually, we're going to go back to this side. I'm going to put just a little bit of that on my eyes. Again, we're still using the same brush. Now we're going to pop over here, and I like to, you don't have to do this, but I like to keep my layers separate. So I like to have my creams on one side and my powders on another. So now we're going to put some powder on this side, okay? We're going to do our vanilla dust. I'm going to go in and I'm going to add that because it is a setting powder, and I like to use it on my eyes as well. So again, still using the same brush. This is the vanilla dust. It's a finely milled pressed powder. It's translucent. So I'm going to put that over my eyes. And then I'm also going to powder right down any area, the center of my face, or anywhere where I think I may crease. Like in my smile lines right here. Go down the nose, the center of my forehead, but always up under my eyes. Okay, and now we're going to go in with a powder eyeshadow. We only have a few cream eyeshadows, but today we're going to be using the color Claire. And I'm still going to be using this brush. And we're going to kind of pop that. See where it leads to? I kind of leave that one little area above, right under my eyebrow, the little brow bone. I try not to get the color on that, but I don't care for it to get anywhere else. We're doing everything with this one brush because we are going to keep it super simple. We have multiple brushes, different add-ons that you can do. But again, this is for the person who says, I want it totally simple. So that's the color Claire. We're going to put this again as a powder. So we're going to put it right here beside our vanilla dust. If I wanted to leave it and only have a little bit of a wash of like this pink color on my eyes, we could do that. But we're going to add a little bit of this little sheen shimmer, and it's called Peppa. We're going to put that with the fingertip right on the lid. And there, you can stop right there. See how many places you can stop? It only depends on your comfort level of makeup or what your budget is or what you want to spend, because you still have a little bit of space here if you wanted to fill it up. When I go in and I suggest to people what they may want, I would say, get you a 12-10 because you can fit 6 10s on one side, 6 on another, and then you can grow as you want to add things to your wish list, or maybe a birthday or anniversary or something's coming up and you're like, I really want this. You can go in and add stuff to that as well. So you could do that, and it's a very soft, simple, natural makeup look. Now, if you wanted to elevate it a little bit, then we would go in and maybe add, so there, that's simple, right there. Let's do a little elevation now. I'm going to flip over to another brush. This is the detail brush. I love this brush. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do just a little bit more contour than what I've been doing. And this is for someone who's like, I really want a little bit more makeup than what you're wearing. I want it to look like I have on, like a bit of makeup. So now we're doing a little bit more of a defined carving, chiseling. The makeup's buildable, and that's what you're going to see. This is still the same color that I was using, the cedar. We're going to do a little bit more on the nose. Using this brush, it's got this little sharp edge. We're just going to kind of stamp it there. And stamp it on this side. A little bit there. Right there on the jawline. You can even drag down just a little bit on your neck. And now we're going to add a little bit more of a pop of brightness. So we're going to use this end and we're going to go into that color, which was Aura. and make it, this right here, a little more prominent, a little more bright. Well, sometimes I feel like it may not glide. If you've got really dry skin, you're going to have an issue, and it may be something that you need to check into your skincare. If you have oily skin, sometimes you're going to feel like it just sits on your face, and then it may need powder. So what is your what shape is your skin in now? Do you feel like, are you a dry or oily person? And I also feel like what I need to do is put it on my face. If I'm doing like I did when I first did the video, just to show a super light, easy application, I can kind of just bounce around and I add it. And as I'm adding, I feel like sometimes I'm not putting a lot on. And there at the end, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've got a nice, my face is even and everything else. You don't really notice it till you step back and look at the end. But like this, when I'm putting it on, I like to put it on here, let it set for a minute, then it kind of gets that buttery consistency, and then it just blends in because there's a little bit of wax in here that feels, it's beeswax, but it will make it kind of melty right into your skin, and then it spreads really easy. Your combination skin. You'd be getting your order today if you didn't have it. Your skincare. Skincare is key. Now, I am an oily skin person too, but I do my moisturizing at night. But this is something that I use every day before I put on my makeup, and I feel like it really helps my makeup to spread evenly as well. You can do a moisturizer, but if you're oily, sometimes you got to be careful what type of moisturizer. Make sure it doesn't have a lot of silicone based stuff in it. This one I love. This is for the NYX. It's a sunscreen, and it's a sunscreen and moisturizer, and I put this on first and let it absorb in only for a few minutes, and then when I put my makeup on, it just glides in, and then my makeup works really well with this. If you do feel like your makeup is a little too stiff, grab you a hairdryer, and like I have a cold room, and so every once in a while when I'm going to put it on, if my makeup's too stiff, I may need to hit it with a hairdryer. In the summertime, it's a lot more melty and goes on because the back of my house is warm because we don't have any trees and the sun is directly overhead. So that room back there is either really cold or really hot. But also the contours are going to be a little different formula. They're going to be a little bit stiffer. But you can always, again, hit it with a hairdryer. And if even that doesn't work, you could always melt these down completely, kind of stir them up, and then they'll be good as new and even a little more buttery. I like to do that sometimes if I feel like my contour doesn't go on well. And every once in a while, it may be that it's just that would be what it would take, because I feel like the formula is almost 99% the same every time I get it. But every once in a while, I may get one and say, this one didn't like the one that I had before, and I'll melt it down a little bit or do my hairdryer with it, and it's fine. So now I'm going to blend this in. And I feel like when I first started doing my makeup as well, that I would see everyone put their makeup on easily, flawlessly. The more you play with it, the better you will get at it. That's just, it's just how it is. You will love it more. You'll have people that'll say, "Oh, you can do it like you make it look easy." It is that easy. You can do it with your eyes closed once you've done it several times. But it's really just playing with it and kind of figuring out what works best for your skin, because what works great for me may not be for someone else. And I will say this, once I have amped my skincare up a little, that's done all the difference. I use exfoliator. I use a PMD little smart tool cleaner with my cleanser at night. I moisturize, and I use a moisturizing oil at night. I use serums like a brightening serum and a plumping serum, and all those. I feel like my skin is in the best shape that it's ever been in, and so my makeup literally sets so much better on my face since I take good care of my skin. So if you've recently changed your skincare and you really like it and you think it works pretty good with the makeup, then you may want to give it a little bit of time too to let it do its job and work, because it's not usually going to be instant results. It may take a little bit of time. So now I have a little bit more coverage in. We're now going to, even though we've got our little compact like this, we're going to go in and we're going to add in a bronze. That's what I do at night. We're going to go in and we're going to add a bronzer because I want to kind of amp it up a little bit. So I'm going to take my Bella bronzer here. And see, it doesn't take long before you start filling up your compact. But I'm going to take this here and we're going to swirl this right. Even though I already put the blush on, I'll probably go back and put a little bit more blush too. But this is kind of the same places that I did my contour, but this is going to give me a little bit more warmth. And I feel like it really does bring that life to your face. I like to go over my nose just a little bit. There's not a lot on my brush. And then I will go down my neck. Oh my, look at these earrings, how adorable. They're from the B. Marie Market. I'm obsessed with her stuff. She's on Instagram. The B. Marie. Isn't that cute? Everything's bees. Save the bees. Okay. Look at that, how pretty. It's so glowy and so pretty. But we are going to go back and I am going to put just a little bit more of my blush. Again, the color Nude. Because I showed you super natural in the beginning, and now we're kind of adding a little bit more. Because I want you to see that you can add on to what you have if you want it natural and you wanted to do more of a, a day to night, or a little bit more coverage, or you like it a little more than just natural. Because even though I'm putting more on, it still does have that natural skin-like finish, but you can tell, it's makeup. So that's a little bit more of a pretty blush. You can also, again, it's a lip and cheek, so you can put this on your, I had a lip mask on. I didn't bring earlier. I didn't bring a tissue in here. Okay. And now we're going to do the eyes. I am going to go back and do just a little bit more of that powder. I'm still going to pop over with this brush and powder right here. Right where we need it. But we're going to now change over to an eyeshadow brush, because I used this brush for my eyeshadow a while ago. But now we're going to get a little bit more into the action. So we're going to use this eyeshadow brush. I'm going to use the color Claire that I used earlier. But this is going to give me a little bit better in the crease. The other was just kind of a nice light wash. But I want it to show up a little bit more. Okay? I mean, you already see a difference. Nothing super crazy again. But we're just kind of amping it up a little bit. Sometimes you can have the same makeup and use different tools and get different results. Okay? Because I used that brush, this end of the brush earlier for that color, and it was a lot lighter, a lot of a lighter wash. But now I've used this brush and it gives me a little bit more pigment and like better coverage because it's smaller and it's a little more detailed. I'm also going to pop over to this end and we're going to drag that right up under the eye. And then I want just a little bit more on my eyelids, so we're going to use a little bit more on my finger. A while ago, I barely tapped into that, super light, and see how light it is there? And I'm going to use a little bit more. I pressed down and picked up some more on my finger. And this makeup is buildable, like I said. And now we're going to put a little bit darker in the crease. Now, I could use the bronzer in the crease if I wanted to. If I was trying to save some dollars, I could totally go in and use this right here in the outer corner and have a little bit darker of an eyeshadow, or even use my contour. You can use your cheeks on your eyes, your cheek color on your eyes. I mean, the colors are all, they're not just for your cheeks. You can use it anywhere that it works. Some people color correct with their blush. Some people use it as eyeshadows. Okay, so I could do that, and look how pretty that eye look is. But we're actually going to go in and probably do, well, you know what? Let's just leave it at that. That is fine just like it is. I could do a little eyeliner on there, do a little wing. It would be perfect. Because I do think I'm going to go in lastly, and I'm going to grab an illuminator. And this is the color Nova. And we're going to pop this right here on a few of the high points of our face. And you can kind of see it right there where I put it. But it needs to be blended in a little bit better. And then we're even going to use that a little bit right here on the inner corner. You could even put a little bit up here if you wanted to on that brow bone. Okay. And I'm going to take this little sponge right here and make sure that I have it all blended out. And there you go. It's super soft and pretty. It still looks like my skin. It doesn't look like I have this crazy cakey mask on. It's cream, so as we're older and we have the lines and the wrinkles and all that stuff, it is going to move with your skin. It's not going to set on top of it and be really noticeable. It's going to just kind of become that second skin. And then I use this little 810 palette, and we filled it up. We started with this right here, just these colors, and it was fine. And then we kind of elevated it by adding a few more things to it, like a bronzer, an illuminator, and eyeshadows, and a powder. So you can make it as small as you want or as big as you want, and you can pick and choose. I want this and this and this, and get, you know, exactly what would be more suited to your taste or to your needs. I can help you with that. All you have to do is just send me a message. My email, my color match form, my link to Shop Seint, all that is in my profile. So you're more than welcome to always reach out and say, hey, I got a question. What do you think about this? Or how should I do this? And I'm happy to help anyone. If you want a color match, it is colormatchbysusie.com. And thank you for watching.